You guys ready to go get something to eat?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's eat!
Hi, welcome to Hunt and Gather with the Chatters. Today we're in southern Arizona on a COUES whitetail deer hunt. The neat thing about these COUES deer is they're a little bit smaller than, say, like an eastern whitetail, which I love because they taste great and you can hike them out a ways. So we're going to be hiking in these mountains that you see around us, and just glassing for COUES deer, and then if we get lucky and see some, we're going to try to do a stalk on them and get a shot. We might even sit water too, just depending on, you know, if we're needing a break. But anyhow, let's go get something to eat.
Yeah, let's, real quick. This is Alan John, Aaron's brother. I mean, you can probably see the similarities, but he's here for the ride. He's had this hunt plenty of times, and so he's going to be a great resource. Are you guys ready to go get something to eat?
I'm ready.
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, it's early morning. We got our camp set up. We're getting ready to hike these hills and glass for some deer. Basically, we just get on these ridge tops and try to get in the shade of a tree and glass the neighboring ridge top, or sometimes several ridge tops over. But then if we're lucky enough to see one, we can always do a stalk.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, this is definitely big country. It's always a hard decision, you know, how long do you glass in one area? Because you could glass here all day long, and that's actually a reasonable thing to do. But then you kind of feel like, well, if you bunny hop several ridges over, maybe over top of one of those tallest ball mountains, maybe there's a magical land over there. And so we typically glass, I would say, 20 minutes on the average hilltop. One that's super big like this, we might go a little longer. But then we'll glass each ridge top and just keep doing that.
Honey, do you see something?
This ridge has two main outcroppings.
Okay.
The outcropping to the right, just below that, I can see a single deer standing there, and I can see another spot that is probably a deer. But anyways, it's probably a mile and a half.
Okay.
But it'd be worth checking out. It's pretty remote over there, so it's got a good buck ratio.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's do it. Let's go.
And what's perfect, the wind's coming this way, so we can get down to the bottom of the wash, get one ridge away, and then crest over it.
Okay.
Somewhere in those trees, there's a buck. Cindy's sneaking around to try to get a shot.
This is the rock that was behind the deer. So now we're just looking for the tree.
Okay, we should be close to Cindy's deer. There he is. Hey, you're gonna have to cut his throat. Do you have your knife? Okay, Cindy got her deer.
Yeah, it was a lot farther shot than I wanted to take, but Aaron gave me dibs, and I figured if I didn't take this opportunity, I might regret it. So I just went a little bit to the side and felt like I had a pretty good rest.
Yeah, I feel lucky. We spotted these deer about 1.5 miles away.
And we didn't know if they were bucks until we actually got up on them.
Yeah, and then they actually held tight in the same general area. I mean, they were within 100 yards of where we initially saw them.
Yeah, you did a good job spotting them, hon.
But you made a killer shot. It was right at 400 yards.
I do not like those first shots.
Good job. All right.
That's a nice buck too.
I'd be happy with that.
Look at that. I think he's struggling to see because he's got muzzle over his head. All right, Aaron and Ellen John got the blind set up and it looks awesome from the outside. You can't even see it. And we are all ready to go. We got vantage points to all sides of the water. And we can even kind of glass the hills as we're sitting here. So I hope something comes in. Hold on.
So we were sitting in a water hole and we had a little buck come in, but we didn't have any big bucks come in or really many deer at all. And this is why they got just enough rain recently that there's these little pools every now and then in the bottom of the creek. And these bigger, more mature bucks, they get smart. They know don't come to the main water hole, just drink out of these little drinkers. And so that's what they're doing.
So let's go up canyon and let's see if we can find them.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Cindy just spotted some deer. How many are there?
I can only see 2 right now, but it's probably a bigger group.
Can you tell buck or doe?
No, they're too far.
Okay.
So if you go to the tallest part of the mountains, there's 3 peaks. Go to the tallest one.
Okay.
In the middle. And you're gonna come about halfway down, right below the big green tree.
All right. We'll think of a way to stalk over there.
You see him? Let's hear the story, because I was in the dark waiting for it to happen. All right, talk to me, Goose.
Oh man, we have been trying to get me a deer. Cindy got hers opening day, and then I've had opportunities, but we think the gun was off. I missed one at like 110 yards. Of course, he was slowly walking, but still missed him clean. So luckily we brought another gun, so we didn't even bother practicing with it. We just switched guns out. But we spotted this guy about a half a mile away, and then we snuck in within 300 yards. And so I aimed about 4 inches high. And anyways, made a good shot on him.
You watched him fall, so that was comforting, I'm sure.
Yeah, he did an end over end flip, and so you knew it was done, you know.
He is beautiful, hon. He's really pretty.
But crazy excited. We're gonna get him gutted and skinned, and we're gonna have to hike out of here in the dark, and we're probably 2 miles from the truck, but that's okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
And you can see this landscape, man. It's nothing but, it's like sheep country. It's just straight up and down everywhere. But it's where you gotta go. It's where they're at, so.
Good job, hon.
All right, we got back home. We got this 150 quart cooler, basically full of deer and some ice jugs. But anyways, we're gonna start taking them out one by one, the legs, and start butchering. We got into butchering our own meat just because you save a lot of money, but then there's also the added benefit of you can trim all the visible fat off the outside of it. And so it's a lot healthier when you go to eat it.
It's a lot of work, okay? So we got all of our meat processed, and we're pretty excited. We have 35 plus bags of grind, and we got about 20 roasts and a bag of hearts and a bag of livers. So we got plenty of variety, and we also have just a variety of animals this year. It's been a really good year to us. All right, so we just got back and we finished butchering the whitetail, which was a feat in itself, but we're really excited to give it a try. It's been a few years since we've actually had deer, so we're excited to try something new. And I thought that it would be fun to do a whitetail Parmesan. You can do any wild game, and you can even use meat that hasn't been tenderized, but something that we found is really, really helpful is a meat tenderizer. We actually found this at Goodwill. You can probably buy one online for about 10 bucks, but it's just got some teeth on it, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to run it through, run slices of backstrap or roasts through this meat tenderizer a couple of times. Kind of see the marks that are on it. It's just putting little tiny cuts all throughout the meat. All right, we're ready for our next step, and I actually did kind of an in-between step, and that's coating our steaks with flour. I just used flour, I just pressed them in gently. That can be done with any type of flour. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 egg and about a 1/4 cup of milk and whip that together. And this is going to create our sticky layer that's going to absorb our breadcrumbs. Before I show you how to do that, I'll walk you through the breadcrumb mix. This is Italian breadcrumbs, so I took a cup of Italian breadcrumbs, a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and mix that together. And it's a pain in the butt to make more later, so make it more than you think you need. I'm going to take one of the floured steaks, dip it into my egg wash, put it into my crumbs, and when I go into my crumbs, I'm going to do a gentle press, because I am trying to press some of the breadcrumbs into the meat. Give it a little shake, and then continue with the rest of them. All right, so I have my oil heating up in my pan, and I got about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm on medium heat, and I like to do a kind of a cheater step. so that I don't have to use as much oil. I dip my fillet or my steak in the oil on one side and then flip it over, so that when I go to flip over the steak later on and all the other oil has been soaked up by the other side, there's still some there to work with. So I'm going to let those cook for about 1.5 minutes on one side, and then I'll flip them over and cook them 1.5 minutes on the other. I'll add some more oil and I'll cook the rest of these. You're not looking for a complete cook for 2 reasons. One, this is whitetail, and so you can do a little bit more of a medium rare. You don't have to do a thorough cook. But then we're also going to be putting them in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes, so those will get an additional cook time there. We're ready for the final steps before we put it in the oven. What you're going to want to do is you're going to get your favorite marinara sauce or spaghetti sauce, and we're going to use that. You can also make it from scratch. Take a little Parmesan cheese, mozzarella or an Italian style blend of cheese. There's also a good mozzarella and provolone blend. And all we're going to do is we're going to place our steaks in a 9x13. I'm going to coat them in sauce. This sauce and these steaks are going to go on top of noodles, and so it's okay to have extra sauce in there because you're going to want more when you go to throw it on your noodles. All right, I'm going to give it a sprinkle with cheese, the Parmesan first. And then some of the melted cheese, or melting cheese. All right, I'm gonna put this in the oven at 400 for 20 minutes. And I'm looking for a melted cheese on top, but I'm also looking for that sauce to kind of be boiling, and it's gonna do the final cook on our steaks. One more thing, if you're interested in wild game recipes or you want tips and tricks on how to process your own animals, we have an awesome cookbook that can be found on Amazon. It doesn't have this particular recipe, but it has a bunch of other recipes that you'll thoroughly enjoy, and they're all based around wild game. All right, while my whitetail Parmesan is cooking, I'm going to get my water boiling for my pasta, and this will be the base for our whitetail Parmesan.
Let's eat!
All right, so this is the whitetail Parmesan, and I got it real crispy on top with the cheese, and I just took a bed of noodles and then put a couple of whitetail Parmesans on there, and I'm ready to give it a try. And it was pretty tender. I actually cut a piece in half.
Okay, you said you want to go first?
Yeah, got a little bit of noodles. Yeah, it's really good. It almost tastes like chicken Parmesan.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Really cheesy and just a good compliment to the spaghetti.
Awesome.
All right.
This is one of the shooters. You actually got your deer first this year.
It's really tender. Excellent flavor. I love chicken Parmesan. I think I might like this even a little bit more, just because when you have your tenderized meat, there's all those pockets for the breadcrumbs and the oil to get into, and just an excellent texture.
Yeah, it's nice and tender with that machine that you use. Now, I remember you made this before with javelina, and it was awesome.
Yeah, javelina is another good tenderized meat.
Yeah, those COUES deer, you can't beat them, and this recipe specifically is just incredible. I love it.
Thanks for watching Hunt and Gather with the Chatters.
We'll see you next time when we go get something to eat.
And please subscribe. It's free and it helps us out.